Hello everybody, we are the Baseball Boys Consultant Agents. My name is Tucker Mauser, and tonight we're going to be discussing Split Rail Links and Golf Club. This is a golf course located in Aledo, Texas, which is a city right outside the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, about 20 miles west. And the purpose of our presentation is to help Split Rail Links establish a strong customer service. This is currently a course that has great conditions. It's very unique in its design, and its biggest weakness is what they're serving their golfers is they're not offering that much amenities, they're not offering a lot of facilities for them, and we want to help them with that. And the second focus is to redirect their focus to hiring higher level personnel. That means hiring capable employees that is capable of being like serving the customer, and they need to be able to be competent, they need to be able to be independent and responsible, and because the current staff that they have right now is lacking a little bit in that, and they could use some training. And the ultimate goal is to make Split Rail Links a prime destination and the Fort Worth Dallas Metroplex. They want to be competitors, they want to be the top destination to go to. That's the ultimate goal for us in helping them. And the overview of the presentation is Mr. Holler will be presenting the primary and secondary research along with the findings and conclusions, and I will present the recommended courses of action based on those findings.
Yeah, so our main objective for our primary research was to compare Split Rail to neighboring competitors and see how they stack up with the customer service, how friendly they are, how well their courses run, how well everything is all gelled together to make a strong market for them to compete in with other golf courses. And we really wanted to evaluate how they really stacked up. So we actually did, Tucker went home 2 weeks ago, and we actually did he went out there for about 2.5 hours and went on the green before you go out to tee off. He went out and surveyed 25 people and asked them 3 questions, and we did a little survey in person. So the format of the interview, basically, we had 3 simple questions. How does Split Rail's customer service compare to the neighboring courses that you have played? Is it different? What is the landscape like? Is there different, is there better food? Is there better customer service? What's different? What prevents Split Rail from having a good customer service? And what we think would probably be most of our answer for our hypothesis would be that good customer service is engaging with your customers and talking to them a lot. So golf is a very high-end sport. It's a lot of prestigious people play golf. It has been like that way since the early 1930s. Very prestigious. A lot of very high-end people play golf, and they really want to be treated high-end because that's just what they're accustomed to. Our third question, how does Split Rail's course design and conditions compare to neighboring courses? So Split Rail is actually very unique. It's different. It is actually a European style course. It is different than traditional American course. So the landscape for a traditional American course is they basically it's man-made themselves. They basically pave everything and they make everything, and there's a lot more obstacles, a lot more man-made water sources and trees. And in our European style Split Rail golf course, they've actually built it into the land, into the contours of mountains, and it's all natural. There's no trees, no anything. It's just open, and everything's a little more harder to play, a little different style. So our secondary research, we had just a few of them. For example, Orca employee. It's basically a place to show that what employees need to do to become better acclimated with their surroundings. Kind of talk to that higher level. Don't speak in your normal language. Be very polite, very correct, and ask them if they need anything. And that's just a little 5-step process that the management can show their new employees that to help them out in becoming better employees. So the next one was Golf Advisor. It's just a method for golf course managers to train their staff to improve their customer service. So it is it's a little bit different than our other sources because it also includes different features you can add to your golf course, like maybe adding a little new thing in your pro shop, adding like free golf cleaning stuff, stuff like that. And our golf web design is need-to-know necessities to achieve a customer-first operation. What it all sums up to is know what to do and when to do it. Everybody knows you got to be friendly to everybody. It's just like the restaurant business. If a waiter comes up to your table and they take your order and don't come back for 20 minutes, you get kind of upset. That's the same thing with golfing. If you ask somebody, hey, can I get maybe some new tees or new balls, and you go inside and you've already paid for your tee time, and maybe you're on the time crunch, and they're just not there, then you get a little frustrated, and word of mouth travels really fast. And so our findings from our research, from our interview is, for our customer service compared to competitors, 48% said compared to other courses that everybody's played at is below average, is very subpar. 32% said average, and 20% said above average. So as you can see, customer service is a really big deal. And our other final research question, interview question, is course conditions and design. So the design is very different and unique. Not many people don't have the money to fly to Europe to go play golf, nor have the time or want to. So it's very unique and very different, and they really like to come here and play there. But it puts a damper on things when you have bad customer service and you have a bad experience, you don't want to go back. You don't want to do that anymore. So 70% said above average, 24% said average, and 6% said below average. And I'll be handing it off to my colleague, Tucker. Just kidding. Findings from our research, a majority of the golfers at Split Rail feel that the staff is not sociable or friendly. So a couple of them said, from what he told me a couple of them said that, yeah, when I asked them, hey, can I get a Dr. Pepper or a water or a beer or a different kind of beverage, it took them a very long time to come back, and they were not happy with it. They did not want to, they honestly thought about going somewhere else. Our second finding is most of the golfers at Split Rail rated the course's conditions and design above average, which is very good for them. They're already a competitive golf course, but what we're trying to do here is give them a few tips and show them a few websites and maybe some blogs that are written by professionals to maybe help them go over the top. Our third finding is having good course conditions and design is not enough. Without customer service, excuse me, and without everybody chipping in to create a friendly, fun environment and very prestigious and to excel. Our fourth finding is when the interactivity between the course's staff and its golfers is high, the golf course has superior customer service and gains more business. Like we said, golf is not really a market, it is more of a person-to-person talking, and a lot of word travels through mouth, and when everybody goes to other courses and they have something better, they see, okay, maybe we should go here and not go here anymore. Maybe a little cheaper, maybe a little more expensive, but they may have more amenities and extra things you can do to enhance your experience. And now I'll be handing it off to my partner.
All right, moving on to the recommendations. I split it up into three categories. The first category would be course services plan. Course services are things that you can offer your customers to make it easier to play the game overall. And the first essential step is offering non-hole rates. For those of you that don't understand, a whole round of golf is 18 holes. It could take 4 hours on average. If you're a slow player, you play for 5 hours. And offering non-hole rates for people that have work all day. There's not enough daylight to work. I mean, there's not enough daylight to play until 7 p.m. I mean, you only got 2 hours, so you got to offer non-hole rates, 6-hole rates, things that'll take an hour or two. That means you got more customers coming. They're not worrying about how long it takes. They're just coming in and playing. And then the second is a secure bag drop facility. A bag drop facility is basically a storage locker for golfers' equipment for their bags. And this is all about convenience. Again, customer service. I mean, this encourages the caddies at a golf course, it's basically the field workers. This encourages them to engage with the golfers, and they take their bags when they're done with their round of golf, with their permission, of course, They store them in a baggage facility that's arranged in alphabetical order by the names of the golfers. And as soon as they pull up in the parking lot the next time they play, they know that person by name because they're forced to talk to them. And they know that person by name, and they can pull out and take their clubs to them. And another big bonus is when you bring in the clubs to the bag drop facility, the caddies will always be required to clean their clubs. And golfers get lazy. Golfers, they don't want to spend time cleaning their clubs. You can take 5 to 10 minutes that they don't want to spend. And another essential service to offer is re-gripping and basic club repair. This is usually, I mean, back 20 years ago, every club offered this, and you don't see it very often these days, especially the places that me and Blake play. Like, it's not really something that they offer. And what this does is it breaks the barrier of communication between the customer and the management or the staff in general. And what is the most important thing to a golfer? His equipment. You're not necessarily worried about the course, but as long as his equipment is working and he has somebody to help him with his equipment, I mean, it's very common. They're swinging clubs at very high velocities. They're hitting rocks sometimes. I mean, all kinds of things can happen on a golf course. And whenever there's a club that comes flying off or flying in half and goes down the fairway, I mean, being able to walk into the office and say, hey, sir, do y'all offer club repair here? It really helps us out. And then what does that do? It breaks the barrier of communication, which is the problem holding back split rail right now, currently. And moving on to the next recommendation category, it's repurposing the staff. And currently, this is a staff that struggles, obviously, with the social side of service. Obviously, you got to train caddies, you got to train cart workers. The difference between the two is caddies go on the course, they're like the golfer's best friend out there. Cart workers clean the carts, they take the carts from the golfer, and these guys need to be sociable helpers. Because currently, these kids working there don't even know the golfers' names. They just say, thank you, sir, and they take the golf cart. Ask them how their round went. Ask them how they enjoyed the course, if they had any issues. That's feedback that you need from the customers that they're not getting currently. That's the barrier that they have in their business. And it keeps them from growing. And another obvious need is to treat your employees well, and that's associated with motivating your employees. Currently, they don't allow their caddies to be tipped. Caddies are the field workers. Think of them like a bag boy at a grocery store. They need to be tipped. I mean, when they do a good job and they know they treated the guy to a good conversation, they cleaned his clubs, they took his car, and they treated everything well, and they get tipped $5, they're going to want to keep doing that. They're going to want to keep improving and maybe get $20 next time, just being that much better at their job. It's just compensation for being good, and this also applies to the golf pros. And the owners of the course need to keep reassuring the golf professionals, which is like the managers of the course. Of course, the caddies are the field workers, guys that are golf professionals manage the caddies. And they need to keep being reaffirmed and reminded how important they are to daily operations. Next category of recommendations is to expand their customer base to split rail. How do you expand your customer base? You obviously bring more golfers, and golf is a very hard sport to play. For some people, it's a very frustrating game to play. It's just full of mistakes, and people just try to make the least mistakes possible. And what you can do is just offer instructional programs. This is a sport, and every single sport has coaches. And the statistic is 70% of golfers have never received a single lesson from a coach. They just go out there and play and just have fun. And you can do that, but how can you bring more golfers to the game? You make it easier for them to play, you make it more enjoyable. So they need to get a better grasp of how to play the game, and offering better interactive instructional programs is the way to do that. And you can do that through offering clinics. Clinics is like group classes. It can be free just to start off, and then you can start doing $15 a person, $50 a person maybe. And this encourages people to come to your course, and you can advertise this on the internet, you can advertise this on Facebook to locals in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. And then we also are going to offer highly affordable lessons. The problem right now is it's not as affordable, obviously, but it's awesome. It's awfully intimidating for the average golfer to walk in and say, hey, can you please help me with my game? And it's because that barrier of communication. This guy in the office, at the pro shop, like Blake said, they're not friendly. They don't go out of their way to be friendly to the golfer, so they're intimidated to ask for help and receive lessons. And for those of you who don't know, you can get a lot of money from lessons. That's business, that's growth. And I'll pass it off to Blake, and he'll be concluding.
Yeah, so just to sum up our basic presentation for our purpose statement, we said that we wanted to help them establish a stronger customer service representation for their program, because right now they're not doing a great job and they're losing business, they're losing people, they're losing money just by how their workers that they hired and didn't take the time to correctly train them or motivate them is hurting them in the long run. And for our primary research, we did our interview and surveying. We surveyed the golfers on course, actually. Tucker did. It's very great of him to do that. Very awesome. And so our secondary research, we used 3 websites like Orca, Golf Advisor, Golf Web Design, and they all are professional, opinionated websites and help for them and training programs that we want to give to them possibly, maybe in the future, so they can help them prosper and thrive and become a top destination. For our secondary, and actually that's it. Any questions?
Any questions?